My name is Mr. Jazzy. My name is Perry Adams, popularly known as Mr. Jazzy. Yeah, I got that Mr. Jazzy when I started playing bass. Yeah, so Mr. Jazzy has been part of my name for almost 12 years now. If I'm not lying, 12 years now. Yeah. So today is a first edition of Music Journey, Music Journey, Music Journey. You know, music comes with a whole lot. Music, as a human being, you need music in your life. You need music in the system. Music heals the soul. You understand? So whenever we talk of music, there is a whole lot. There is a whole lot package for us. You understand? So whether you are a bassist, whether you are a keyboardist, whether you are a vocalist, this show is actually for you. This show is for you. You need to join, and as I said it earlier on my page, you are not here by mistake. You are not here by a mistake. You're actually here to learn something for yourself, something extraordinary for yourself. You understand? So this show is actually for if you are an intermediate, it's for you. If you're a beginner, it's for you. If you're a professional, it's for you. We all learning from the whole angles together up together to make it a history. Yeah, that is how I'm gonna put it. So a history. Today I'm very fortunate to have my sister, my in fact my everything. I've loved her from a woman sing. Anita, you're welcome. You're welcome to wow now, and we bless God for this day, and we are believing in the Lord. Something extraordinary today. We need something in our system. We need to learn something as musicians. What do we have to know? So right now, I'll leave it upon you to make an introduction. Tell the world who you really are. I've started it, so you're gonna end it for me. So I leave it to you, Anita. Go ahead.
Thank you, my brother. I truly thank you, Mr.
You're
Jazzy.
welcome.
I really appreciate you having me. I really appreciate you having me. Like you
You're
could have
welcome.
chose many other musicians around the world, but you decided to choose, your sister, your dear sister, and I'm so honored to be here.
Blessed,
Um,
man.
so let's talk about yeah. So I'm going to talk about my journey of how music found me.
Okay.
You know, and music actually started when I was so young. I was really young. I was brought up in church. My parents are pastors. To this day, I'm still playing for my church. I'm still singing for my church, for God. And I love every moment of it. And it started so young. It started when I would always watch my cousin who used to play drums. And that's the first instrument, very first instrument that I actually learned how to play is through my cousin because he used to play drums. And he taught me. Well, one day, I came to him and said, "Oh, I want to learn how to play drums." The drums, really interest me. I just love how, they just, have,
Yeah, yeah. I see that.
their
I see that. I see that.
inspirations and, yeah. And so, as a little youth, little girl, I asked him, one day I had, enough confidence to come to him and ask him, like, hey, can you teach me how to play drums? And he said, yes, of course, of course. So that's when, a- as, I started learning, new things on the drums and all the stuff, the cymbals, the toms, the everything, and how it just mashes together to make one beat to all together. It's just incredible. Like,
Wow.
and I learned so much. I learned once, you start practicing on that one instrument, or if you want to learn a lot of instrument, I learned that uh, um, to take your time. It's no rush. Just take your
Okay.
time,
Okay.
practice, 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 because practice, it definitely makes perfect. And music to me, oh, it's literally my mouthpiece. Literally,
Wow.
music literally helps me to literally say what I feel in my heart and
Okay.
what I feel like that is going on to the world, and through God, the inspiration of God, he gives me all these songs, even if even in my worship lives, I don't even know where it comes from, but I know it comes from God only. And it's just, and then how I start playing the piano. We're going to talk about the piano now. How I started to learn how to play the piano was, I think it was through a friend that because I'm that type of musician. I know there's a lot of, probably most musicians are very observant. They love to observe other musicians and
Okay.
watch every, the technique and, the style of how a musician should play so that they can get some ideas.
Wow.
I'm that type of musician. We are all that type of musicians that um, we learn from each other. And I learn by like watching. I'm a visual learner. And, I noticed that whenever, even if it's my dad like preaching at another church or my mom preaching at another church, I would always watch the musicians. I would always look for the musicians, and I'm like, oh, there you are. And I would literally have my focus on them. And
Wow.
I would literally watch the technique. I would hear, I was like, oh, I can probably use that technique as well, and but music to me, it's a lot because honestly, through my life, I felt like I didn't know how to express myself, or or um say what I want to say, and music definitely helped me on that. Singing helped me on that. Singing is truly, my way of trying to, get my point across, and music, it definitely, like my brother said, music heals. It truly does heal. Because I've been, in places where I felt like, the dust. And when I listen to these musics that, friends of mine have literally, say, hey, listen to this will definitely, you know uh help you and cheer you up and motivate you. And let me tell you, music, it heals. Wow, it really does do a lot. Like, I'm still learning about, you know what music can do. And it's created by the best creator, the creator of heaven and earth. God made music. And
Great.
I'm just so happy that God has given me the gift to sing to you, to just, because I've been a kid that, I didn't know how to express, like I said, express, what I want to say, how I'm feeling, what's going to say, the drums.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just want to ask you, what inspired you to, do multitasking?
Connection
Hello.
is playing with us. Yeah, I'm here. You were cut off, my friend. I'm sorry. So what was your question? Can you repeat your
My
question again?
question was,
I'm sorry.
what inspired you to do multitasking in music, to learn instrument? What? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello,
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
you can hear
Can
me,
you hear
right?
me? Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear
I can
you.
hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
I was actually
So,
asking, what inspired you to do multitasking in music, to learn the various instruments aside the perfect instrument you wanted to learn? That is my question, my first question for you. I need to know what inspired you to do
Okay.
multitasking in music. Yeah.
Honestly, that's a very good question. Um, honestly, well, I was kind of, forced to because of, me being in church and singing and just playing at the same time. I had a friend that he used to play for us, and of course, circumstances happened that he had to move. So I was forced to play the keyboard while leading worship, and it was hard at first, but the Lord helped me through it. And thank God, God sent somebody that can play. He can sing, he can worship, and I'm just so um,
I get that. So, have you been to a show that you've not prepared before? A show you've not prepared before? And how was the experience like?
honestly, it was, oh gosh, it was just, I don't know how to explain it. I was so nervous. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I don't know what I was gonna say. I was like, you know what, Lord, like my emotions was like all over the
I
place.
see that.
So yeah, and but I just stopped myself. I just caught what I do is I stop myself and I said, you know what? I have a little talk with the Lord. I said, God, help me, just let your words flow through me, so I don't say nothing that, you don't like, or nothing that is offensive, just, reassure me. And that's exactly what, he does. He really
Great,
does. Yeah.
great, 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 great. I see that. So, what advice will you give to a person like that when he or she goes for a music competition and then didn't learn anything, didn't prepare anything? What is the advice you're going to give to that person out there?
That's a good one. My advice was to just, what I would do is I would close my eyes and I would just block out all the
Okay.
distractions, that I would just try my best to just meditate. Meditation really helps, when I'm really like, all over the place, when my mind is all over the place, I'll just say, you know what? Let me just relax myself, be at ease, you know, uh, talk to God. Talk to God is the best thing to do, because he really helps me to calm my nerves. And, it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. Um, I was,
Okay.
somebody asked me to sing a song, um, at the last minute, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was trying to think of the words, trying to pull them up real quick, and my emotions were just everywhere. And I said, you know what? Let me just calm down. Let's then take a minute, calm down. Um,
Oops.
I would just literally in my mind just say, Lord, just take over me, because all I want is people to be encouraged, to be with water, to be just be encouraged. So because I don't want my emotions to be all over the place, and I mess up or anything. So my
All
advice
right.
is to
I
just
got you.
meditate on God. Allow God to really calm your nerves, just take a minute and just relax yourself, in the best way you can. Put on meditation music. That's what I do. I put on worship music, and it definitely helps. So that's my advice. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's great. That's great. That's great. I like that. Yo, wherever you are, it's all about music journey. It's all about music journey, and you can even tell from what we are doing, we're learning. We need to, you understand. So if you're online, I would just want you to share the video, make tag every musician. Every musician actually need this one, this particular one. Every musician need this. So kindly tag each and every one, every musician out there to join, so that at the end we all learn something out of it. Whatever mistakes that we've made it at the past, we can get back to it and then correct things and then move it on like that. Today I have my sister Anita Terrelong from the US of A. Wow. A woman that plays keyboard, that one who plays almost everything. It is in with him. That is great. I'm so fortunate to have her. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And mind you, it's Sunday too. So the Holy Ghost is actually here.
Amen. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is here.
So Anita, I'll get back to you. I have a question I just want to ask you. It has been, you know, bothering my mind. I need to ask you this. How would you handle mistakes during performance when you are performing and
Mm,
then mistakes come? Like whether you are in a band or individual, how would you handle that mistake?
that is a very good question. How do I handle mistakes? I would just keep going, as if I would just keep going, just keep going. Don't ever stop, because if you stop, then you know. So just keep going, keep going. Like even if you miss a lyric or two, keep going, keep going, keep going, and allow God to really just if it's allow God to give you words, because there's a lot of times where I have literally forgotten a line or two in a lyric, and I just keep on worshiping God. I just keep on worshiping. Yeah, so definitely keep going. That's my advice. Just keep going.
Keep
Don't stop.
going, keep going, keep
Yes,
going, keep going. Wow, that's great.
keep
Keep
going.
going. Whenever so you heard everything, just said keep going. Whenever there is a mistake, you just have to keep going. Make sure nobody identify you made a mistake at that very point. Just keep going to avoid attention at you. To just keep going. That's great from Anita. Anita, do you have a favorite musician?
Oh, honestly, I have a lot. I have a lot of favorites. So I can't really say, oh, I have this one particular musician. But um I can say that there's one musician that I like. And he's a brother of mine, and he is just amazing. He is a young prodigy. His name is Nathaniel Sanford. Y'all follow him. He
Wow.
is just amazing. He really, I've learned a lot from him just by watching him. He's so humble. He's so humble, and I love that about him. He's so humble and pure, and he just whenever I call and say, "Hey, you want to do a gig?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. I'm not, doing anything. We can, hang out." But yeah, yeah, definitely. He's one of my top favorite
Wow.
musicians. Definitely.
What's the name again? So that after that I could actually search for what's the name again?
Nathaniel Sanford.
Wow. Wow.
Nathaniel Sanford.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
Yes, he
So
is dope.
Anita,
Yes.
I just want you to advise the beginners out there, if somebody is approaching music or want to come into the music industry, what would be your first advice you would love to share with that beginner,
Mm.
particular that particular person who just want to come into the music industry? What would be your first advice for that person?
Hmm, that's a good question. My advice, if somebody that want to start their music career, or want to, start learning an instrument,
Yeah.
or, start singing, whatever it is in music, I would say allow your creativity
Okay.
to define you. Allow your creativity to, you know, um, allow your creativity just, you know, uh, just be who you are. Basically be who you are. Don't allow other companies to change who you are. Be who you are. Allow your creativity to define you. Yeah, so that's my
Wow.
advice.
That's great. So Anita, aside music, I believe you're working, right? Aside music, I believe
Yeah.
you're working, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how
Yes.
do you balance music with your work? How do you balance them together? In
Mm,
order not to fade in the
mm,
system, how do you balance the music and the work together? How do you balance that?
mm. I will do is I make schedule. Like when I work, I will put like because I work from 9 um 9 no 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock. So I would say, okay, here's work time from 12 to no from 10 to 2, right? And then I'll say, oh, I have the rest of the day to just to relax or make music. Um, and what I would do is after work, I would um, spend time with God, and then I would, make some music. So that's my schedule that I will make. Make sure like you make a schedule, for, make time, for everything, So after work, I would just spend time with God, sing to Him, read my Bible, and then I would just make music. Yeah, and yeah, that's basically, yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Mhm.
That's great. Anita, there's one thing that also bothers me a lot. It has been other people's question they need to ask, but they don't want to ask because I just want to ask for them, and I'll ask. Yeah. Um, how long do you think a musician should practice when you are an instrumentalist or either vocalist? How long do you have to practice? How long do you think one has to practice? A day or hours or what? I just want to know.
Oh, that's a good question. How many? Okay, I well, whatever is convenient with you. Just try your best to make time to practice. Whether it's like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour, just try your best every day, and if you can't do every day, that's completely fine. Whatever time that whatever free time, on your free time, whenever I have free time, whatever, when minutes or 5 minutes or whatever time that you can, on your free time. Yeah.
Right,
So that,
right,
yeah.
right. That's great.
Mhm.
That is an advice. You've been actually called to come and do a project with an artist. You understand?
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely the artist is going to pay you. He's going to pay you. But what would be your first reaction if the artist call you to come and do a project with him or her? What would be your first impression? What would be your first reaction?
My first reaction was, if they call me, I would definitely, first I would say, okay, I'll be there. And what I would do is I would practice as much as possible, because I don't want to, you know, um, mess up or cause any problems. I would definitely practice a lot, and I would just, allow the Holy Spirit to just take over me. I love when God, has His way. He is pleased with what I'm doing, and I would definitely also, of course, because I love to smile a lot. I would keep a positive vibes between me and that person, and
I got you.
we, yes, definitely, yeah.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
and don't be afraid to
Right,
share your
right,
ideas too. Don't be afraid. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. Mostly in my country, for instance, I wouldn't ever lie to you, and then I'll be very sincere and honest to you. Most of them, what they actually does is whenever you call them for a gig or you call them for a section, what they have to do is they have to talk about the money first, which is very, very, very bad. It's really bad.
Mm.
So to my beginners out there, if you're coming out to learn music, if
He'll probably come on. That's what I would do. Just let them know, like, let them know that, hey, one of the singers was off. And I would just say, can we just, let us hear them, without the music, and be respectful and kind about that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Talking about mistakes. Okay, Andrews. What if the keyboardist stopped playing? So is the drummer. What do you do? Oh, okay. What I would do is if they stop, just tell them to keep going as if it didn't happen. Keep going. Like I had one time I had um um a beginner drummer that I was teaching him, and he on Sunday he stopped playing, and I'm like, hey, it's okay, keep going, it's okay. He made a mistake and he stopped and he freezed. I'm like, hey, it's okay, keep going, it's okay, keep going. And he started playing, and I just encourage them to keep going. That's what I would say, encourage them to keep going. I would love to answer, no problem. Thank you guys for joining in. Comments. Yes, I'm gonna bring you on back, Jazz. Chat.
Explaining things, I was like, what artists see the person to be. I just, and all things, you play keyboard, your colleague also play keyboard, and then mostly that is what goes on in my. So with that, what do you think is the best thing to do?
That's a really good question. You were amazing out there. Hey, can I get some lessons from you? And some, just ask him for like advice. Ask that person for advice. Yeah. So that's my little,
And
it's okay. It's really, no, because with me, I I make it like my desire not to ask people for money, because of course me and you, we don't do this for money. We do this to be encouragers and to give tips and positive vibes. And I I don't want to make money my priority. I don't want it to be the first thing on my mind. You
great.
know, um, yeah. Whenever of course we sometimes we do need money, but that's not gonna be, my oh, I need it. Of course I would need money, but it's not gonna be my desire to like have more money and to pay people. No, and or to charge people. No, I really believe that you know um, we should really share our gifts. What God has given to us. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
So
right.
that's my answer. Yes.
That is great. That is perfect. I love that. So Anita, we've done almost, and I'm blind to the comments. So
So through the comments, joining a band, and here lies the case, and the singer goes off key. What should you do? So basically, if you're playing, so he's basically asking, if you're playing and you hear somebody that's way off key, what should you do? Well, my advice is to let the leader know, let the worship leader know that somebody is off. Somebody's off. Like say, hey, worship leader, Miss So and So or brother so and so, I I I don't hear, something was off. I don't know who it was. You hear the worship team without the music. Um, so yeah, that's
wow,
my news. Andrew has a question. He says, talking about a mistake, what if the keyboardist stopped playing C? I'll just say, hey, it's okay if you. Yes. And
I leave you to go. I leave you to do something before you go.
yes. Oh yes, definitely. Practice. Well, the saying says practice makes perfect. You know, you hear all these wonderful bands, you know, they practiced together. They practice together in unison. You know, everybody's doing their part. Everybody, you know, remember, you know, the song and each part of the song. Yeah, and it just flows. It just flows. See,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
I
yeah.
see it. I see
So
it.
practice, practice, practice. Yes,
Wow,
yes.
that's great. That's great. That's great.